Hello, y'all. Welcome to Bamm Raw TV. I'm Bamm, aka the 411 Giant. On this episode here, we're going to talk about another Shreveport legend, and his name was Freddie York. Now, anybody in Shreveport Bossier area, and some in Texas, when you say their name, they know who you're talking about. Freddie York he was a lot of different things. I mean, he was no singular person on no level. He was a thinker. Had to be a gangster when he had to be and going on. I first remember Freddie York coming up as a little boy when I used to cut school and come in the Allendale area. We'd be cutting school from Booker T. We'd come in the Allendale area. He was a hustler, always was smooth. I knew him and his brother. And he was, I knew him as a little child, knowing a grown man. And I was a hustler. I used to break in cars, breaking stuff, and I sell stuff and everything. And so we did a little business. But when I came into grown up life and got out of penitentiary and started moving around, and the dope game was circulating, and everybody had their hand in drugs, making money, and we were just at me. I was just street level, going. I get a package here, going on blase, and do my thing. I was just living for the day, you know what I'm saying? And but I seen Freddie York, and I seen what he had established. I didn't have the time or the patience or whatever at that particular time, because I was living on the edge as a youngster, and I thank God I lived to be an old man, and my mindset is different now. But Freddie York was a thinker then. Freddie York, if you watch these Al Capone movies, you will see he was set up like that. He actually, I think he got caught up behind his account, just like Al Capone did behind his account. Freddie York bought some houses. He had nice things, nice cars, but he kept them separated from when he doing business. He wasn't flashy when he was doing business, and he was very, very, very meticulous. Freddie York, we used to see, Freddie York he had bought these little houses. We wouldn't even think about that. Now he bought these houses down in this alley, and all this territory was his. The man had people that working with the dope and packaging the dope in this room, and the money was delivered over to this house, and everything was separated. The accountant was keeping up with everything and going on. He even had slots in places which they could drop and come up under the house. And the houses was positioned in the alley where they can see, kind of had an eye on when the police, they could see the police coming and everything. Man, the man had a setup that it was just a strictly workshop. It was a workshop. Boom, everybody doing their part, everybody doing his part. He had that, and he had it sold up. And he was making money on top of money on top of money. I mean, he was doing very, very well and going on. He never flaunted, never turned around acting big. He did what he supposed to be did. He did for his ladies and for his houses and stuff like that. But like I say, I had remembered him from a long time ago, and I always had respect for him as an older head. And but one day it all fell down when the feds hit him, and they caught him, and they jammed him up and got his accountant. So now he was jammed up and everything, and they was making offers to him that he didn't like. And the offer they making to him, he wasn't satisfied with it, he didn't like it. So Freddie York told him, screw theyself, and went on the run. He went on the run. He said, man, I'm a whole code in the streets. And, you hear that so many times. You hear that so many times that it becomes a cliche. Everybody say it, and very few do it. And so, not that I recommend nobody do it, but I'm just saying, if you say something like, they said that I'm a whole coat on the street. So when you hear it, now it done got watered down so that you don't pay attention to it like that. So after that statement supposedly been made by Freddie York, he was on the run. He was moving here and there. He'd pop up here in disguises. I remember he actually had a guy. I don't know if he found this guy by luck or he deliberately found this guy. He found a guy that looked so much like him that if he passed by me, I would have thought he was Freddie York. He had this guy, man, and Freddie used to plant this guy in different spots because they were looking for him. So he would have this guy to go in different spots. And when the guy go in a different spot, the police, they zoom in, they be all over the guy. Then Freddie York will slide on through, pick up his package or do whatever he need to do and get on out there while the police got this other guy down here putting him through the ringer, asking him all these questions. And Freddie York came in and did whatever he wanted to do. And it's legendary that it's allegedly that when he was traveling, going to Texas, going to these different places, once he went on the run, that anybody who had ran afoul of him or anybody who had done something wrong to him, he came and cleaned it up. He came, cleaned it up. Some people they figured since he wasn't at the spot no more, it wasn't his spot, and people made attempts to come and commandeer the spot, and they ended up losing their life. You know what I'm saying? So Freddie was, like I said, and the thing about him is he wasn't no jive dude. He shot. He always be his minded, but he had been known for shooting. He never was scared to pull that trigger. But he was business minded. Now he never was. So as for my memory with him, I can give two incidents in particular that I remember. One was with my Camaro. My Camaro had got seized by the police, and I was going through a pretty much drought then. I was going through a drought, and some of Shreveport was going through a drought, on the dope thing. But I know Freddie always kept something going on, and I had to chew my pride up because I needed to get my car out there Friday, or else it was gonna double. The price was gonna go up, and then plus I had to go to DMV and get all the stuff did. I had a lady that was gonna do it, and I come around there and I borrowed. I was looking for him, and I said, and I had a bad reputation at that time for being a stick-up boy too. So I had to take a chance on getting it from him. So, but so I go around there and I went around there. I said, what Freddie at? So the people, they looking at me, and the people who work for him, they looking at me like, what's up with this him going on, I said, well, tell him Bamm want to holler at him like that. And then so an old woman in the shadows, an old woman step out. And the old woman said, yeah. And that's when I realized the old woman got the old bonnet hat on and everything. The old woman is Freddie York. So I'm looking, he like, yeah, what you need? I said, oh man, I need a favor. He said, what kind of favor? Because he was being kind of stern because of my reputation, and he was like, what kind of favor? I said, man, look here, I need like $550, man. I said, you got my word. I get it back to you, man. Soon as this stuff something hit, I got you, man. I said, my word is my bond. You've been knowing me since I was a little boy, man. He said, all right. He hollered at dude, said, give it to him. He counted out, gave me $550. Boom. I left. I had a burgundy Camaro at that time with craters on it. I went and got my Camaro out. I went on. When money started circulating, I went around there again. I asked for it. Same old lady. Stepped out and said, I said, hey man, I got you. I appreciate what you did for me going on like that there. I said, yeah, I know I was going to, I told you I was going to get it back to you. He said, I know. And he said it just like that. He said, I know. I said, all right, man, then, you take it easy, it'll be easier. Now, based on what he had did for me and the fact that I had respect for him since I was a little boy, and he was about his business, I respected his brain. But he had, like I said, he had already told him that he was going out, and he was, he had a reputation that he was already taking care of business. So anyway, me and him, there was an incident happened with one of my homeboys, got me at the bottom, and they said that another dude was trying to convince one of my homeboys off the hill, which is all located part of the bottom, Allendale, Lakeside, all that. We consider all that, all us as folks. And so a homeboy came and got me, and I went up there to my home, and I told him, I said, listen, man. They said, man, they been up there. He ain't there, this young dude is steady telling, man, he ain't there no more. He on the run. He ain't this and that. He ain't this and that going on, man. They been up there all morning trying to decide. Now, it's lunchtime. They've been up there all morning, going back and forth in front of people's and back and forth, trying to convince him to go around there and take over Freddie spot. And I told him, I said, look here. So when I drove up, I was in my Malibu there, and I parked my Malibu, and I pulled up, and they in the yard, and I'm leaning back on the Malibu, and I'm talking to him. I'm telling him, dude, shut up, man. You shut up. So you mess around and get my homeboy killed with that old stuff going on, worrying about the money going on. You respect that man's spot. I said, that man made that spot. That man is on the run right now. He needs every quarter that can come from that spot. I said, for you to go mess with that man's spot and interfere with the money that he needs to stay on the run is helping the police. I said, man, don't go around and mess with that man's spot, man. Make your own spot, but don't go mess with that man's spot, man. My homie listened to me and everything. When he listened to me, I sit back, I'm drinking the gin, a few minutes talking. Freddie came out the alley, because we was like 3 houses from the alley. He came out the alley and he walked through us. When he walked through us, he turned and looked at me. He had two AKs strapped on him, and he had like 2 grenades on him. And he walked past me, what I noticed was the same dirt that's under that house, all the houses up there, was on the front of his jacket and stuff. It was on the front of he had an army fatigue. It was on his army fatigue, and that man walked through. When he walked through, he looked at me at the car. He didn't even look over. He didn't even look back toward the house at the rest of the dudes. He looked at me at the car and said, "Hey, what's going on, Bamm?" I said, "Ain't nothing, what's up?" He just kept on walking. And I told him, I said, man, I bet you that man was under that house. Listen, I said, if I had been a credit dude and not been standing on my morals, we all be dead right now, man. I said, man, leave that man's spot alone. So anyway, a situation came where the individual who knew most about it, explained it to us, to me and my homeboys, because we were concerned. We had heard about it, and we heard that what happened, that he was coming back to Shreveport, coming from Texas back to Shreveport, and he was coming over by the airport. And when he was coming by the airport, they had got a tip. So when he come to the airport, they say, come on, come by the bridge. Said that the feds and police jammed him off in the front. And so when his driver go to bag up, because he always kept a driver so that he could jump out the car and get out of the way. And driver go to bag up. They blocked him off at the back. And so he said, driver told him, oh man, they're going to kill him. He said, get out. The driver said, man, if I get out, they're going to kill me. He said, if you stay in, I'm going to kill you. Now get out. He said, go over there and lay down in the grass. They don't do you nothing. So the driver went on there and laid down in the grass, covered his head, He said, last thing he seen, Freddie drove the car right into the pile and said he come up and they started busting at him. He come up and he started busting back. You know what I'm saying? They said he kept busting, said one point. So Freddie at one point, his arm was stuck in the window of the door, and said he was steady firing on him under the pretense or belief that he was still up and able. So they were shooting him many times after he had already been dead. Because he was hanging on that or whatever the reason may have been. So anyway, it's a lot of more go to the story and everything, but they went and found his stash. He had an arsenal of stuff. He had every kind of weapon it was possibly going on, but most important was he did what he said. He went out like he said. He went out on his shield. You know what I'm saying? He went out on his shield, and for whatever reason, he wasn't going back to jail. And so whatever reason was that he didn't accept whatever agreement they made with him and going on, or what kind of deal they tried to get him, he was, that's between him and God. But as far as the man that I knew, he was a businessman. He wasn't no punk. He was and he wasn't no bad dude. He may did some bad things, but I can honestly say that when I asked him for that help that time, he didn't let me down. And like I said, I knew him from the time I was a little boy, so I came up and everything. That's why I respected what he did and going on. So that's about Freddie, y'all. And he was he died. He went out on his shield. He was a businessman. He was a player, and he was a gangster. Hit that like button. I need y'all to subscribe. Hit that bell icon so you know when my next video come out. Much love.